Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So I was really hoping to avoid doing another like sit down style video in my living room, but unfortunately I am still stuck at home due to pandemic reasons. But I thought we would do an old style tag that I used to love watching on YouTube. So I have 10 questions with me. I'm going to answer them and then I tag all of you in this video. So if you want to leave a comment, if you want to create your own video, if you want to go answer on Instagram, however you choose, let's just have some fun with it. All right, so question number one is, what got you started in photography? So travel is what got me started in photography. So I have been a Pinterest user way longer than I've been on Instagram, and one of my longest standing Pinterest boards is my travel board where I pin all of these like wonderful locations that I want to travel to someday. And so I've always seen on Pinterest and then later Instagram these just amazing photos of these places, and personally I just wanted to be able to create amazing photos like that as well. And so that's just what got me started in photography, is just my love for travel and wanting to like capture and document the travels that I do. All right, question number two is, what photography do you like to do? So I love travel and like outdoor nature photography. Those are my loves and those are what I pursue. I have dabbled and experimented with like food photography, product photography. I even did like a baby portrait toddler session the other day, and although I did enjoy that one, really travel and like outdoor nature photography is just what I like to do. All right, question number three is, what was one of your earliest cameras? So one of my earliest cameras, it's not my first ever camera that I ever owned, but it is the second camera that I ever personally owned, and it's this little purple Sony Cybershot that my grandparents got for me for like Christmas like years ago. So if it'll focus, yeah, so it's this little purple Sony Cybershot, and this was actually the camera that I took with me on my first ever international trip to Mexico in 2016. All right, so question number four is, if you could go on any photography trip anywhere in the world, where would you go? So this is a really difficult question for me because I want to travel everywhere, but some of the bucket list destinations I have is definitely Italy. I really want to photograph like the Italian Dolomites. I really also want to photograph the coast and of course the history. I also have Africa on my list, so I really want to do like an African safari. There's also Japan, Iceland, and Hawaii for the landscapes. But if I was to only choose one, the one that I'm most interested in right now is probably Italy. All right, question number five is, what is your favorite lens? So my favorite lens honestly varies depending on the activity, but one of my most reached for lens in my kit is definitely the 12 to 40 millimeter f2.8 Pro from Olympus. All right, question number six, is there someone out there that has played an influential role in your photography? Yes, for myself, there's definitely a few. The first is probably Lisa from The Wandering Lens. She is probably the first person that inspired me to pursue this passion, and she has just continued to play this really influential role in my photography. And the second would be David Duchemin. So I did a video about his book, The Heart of the Photograph, a couple weeks ago in the video, The Exercise I'm Doing to Improve My Photography, and his thoughts on creativity and photography just really resonate with me. So he's a recent person that has influenced my photography. Question number seven is, how would you define your photography style? So my photography style is definitely still something I'm trying to develop and define, but there are some certain themes emerging from the favorite photos that I've taken so far. The first being bright and colorful. I really gravitate towards photos that are bright and colorful, and the second is photos that add some sort of creative element to it, whether it's foreground interest, adding a sun star, reflections. I really love photos that have this sort of creative element to it. Question number eight is, what inspires your photography? So I have definitely noticed over the past year that the weather influences and inspires my photography a lot. So I love getting outdoors during like spring, summer, and fall, but when it hit winter here, I just had the hardest time getting outdoors, getting inspired, and it's just it's because it's so gray and dull here in Kelowna in the winter time. So the weather definitely inspires my photography, and then hand in hand with that, it's the seasons. I love the changing of the seasons and like the colors of the seasons. I've also found that working in collections or bodies of work like Chasing Arrow Leaves, Hello Spring, Summer in the Okanagan also gives me inspiration, because I think it gives me focus, which is something that I've always struggled with in the past. All right, question number 9. On the daily, what's in your camera bag? So what's in my camera bag? I still use the Big Smart Camera backpack from Amazon, and I did a video on it last summer, but I am in the market to probably buy a new one soon. And then as for camera gear, I always have my EM1 Mark II, and then on it right now is the 25mm f1.8 lens. I also always have my 12 to 40mm f2.8, my 40 to 150 f2.8, and my 7 to 14mm f2.8. Now, out of all of my lenses, if I am to leave any of my gear behind, my 7 to 14 is probably the one that gets left behind the most. If I am going out like specifically for photography purposes, this is what I bring with me. And then if I'm going into town and like photography isn't my main focus, maybe it's dinner with family or whatever it is, I do bring my Ona Bowery bag instead, and then I can carry up to a maximum of 2 lenses in my body in this bag. All right, and the last question is, what is your favorite part about photography? And there's definitely a few favorites with photography. One being the creativity and the expression. So finding that best way to express your subject but also aligns with your own photography style. The second is capturing the moment. So James Popsy once said in one of his videos that other than his memory, the photo that he takes is the only thing remaining of a moment or something like that. And it was so true that it made me really aware of documenting the small moments, you know, documenting dinner with my brother or date night with Max, or, you know, birthday and stuff like that. Like really taking time to document, even if it's on my phone or if it is on my camera, just documenting these moments, because yeah, other than your memory, these photos are the only things that you have. And then lastly, I really think photography has made me more of an explorer. It's made me more adventurous, and it's honestly just made my life generally richer. Alright everyone, so I tag you all in this video, so feel free to leave a comment, create your own video, post to Instagram. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, then maybe consider buying me a cup of coffee. As well, hit that like button and subscribe. And I'm really hoping that our next video, I can take you outdoors. I'll see you in the next one.